Religious syncretism has been defined as the fusion of diverse religious beliefs and practices. Religious syncretism in Mexico demonstrates a blend of pre-Columbian indigenous beliefs and Catholicism brought to Mexico by Spanish conquistadors. After Hernán Cortés and his men invaded what is now Mexico, indigenous populations were forced to adopt Catholicism. As a result, many native beliefs had to be incorporated into Christian traditions in order to survive. While some indigenous people accepted the Christian God as a supreme power, they continued to recognize their traditional deities as saints. One example of this phenomenon is Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, or Our Lady of Holy Death. Although not recognized by the Catholic Church, Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, also just called Santa Muerte, is worshipped and an icon in much of Mexico. Santa Muerte often appears as a skeleton dressed similarly to a female Catholic saint or nun. Related to Santa Muerte, and another example of religious syncretism is El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd in Mexico. In pre-Columbian times, indigenous people of Mexico customarily celebrated for their ancestors rather than mourning. With the imposition of Catholicism by the Spanish, these practices were considered sinful. Traditional practices of Dia de los Muertos survived by converging with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, Christian holidays in early November that honor the dead. Despite this convergence, Dia de los Muertos maintains a celebratory and festive feeling as people decorate altars for their deceased loved ones, prepare traditional foods, and throw parties and parades. An indigenous apparition of a saint that is recognized by the Catholic Church is Our Lady of Guadalupe, or the Virgin of Guadalupe. The Virgin of Guadalupe was an apparition of the Virgin Mary at the hill of Tepeyac, which was the holy site of a pre-Columbian deity. This site would later become the Villa de Guadalupe area of Mexico City. The Virgin appeared to an indigenous man named Juan Diego and told him that she was the Virgin Mother of Jesus in his native language, Nahuatl. She asked that a church be built on that site in her honor, but the Archbishop of Mexico City demanded that Juan Diego provide some evidence of his claims. After seeing the Virgin 3 more times, Juan Diego returned to the Archbishop with a cloak full of flowers. When he unfolded it and the flowers fell, his cloak had the image of the Virgin of Guadalupe. Today, the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe is the most visited Catholic pilgrimage site in the world. And the Virgin of Guadalupe is a national icon for even non-religious Mexicans. One more famous example of religious syncretism in Mexico is the Mayan world tree. Mayans believed in a tree of life, which served as a medium of communication among different levels of the world. In this time, Mesoamericans drew trees as crosses. As a result, when many native Mayans were forced to convert to Christianity, they embraced the symbol of the cross, but used it as a symbol to celebrate their own sacred tree.